Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Dakshine Lakshmano Yasya Vame tu Janakatmaja Purato Marutiryasya Tam Vande Raghunandanam. Atulita Baladhamam Hemashailavadeham Danujavana Jnaninam Agraganyam Sakalagunanidhanam Vanaranam Raghupati Priyabhaktam Vatajatam Namami. Namah Shri Tulasīdāsa Sadvaristhāya Dhīmate Pūritam Hridayam Yena Rama Premamrite Name Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om. Salutations to all. We will chant 4 verses that we have learned. बाल समय रवि भक्षी लियो तब तीना हो लोक भयो अंधियारो काहि सो त्रास भयो जग को यह संकट काहू सो जात न टारो देवन आनि करी बिनती तब छाड़ी दियो रवि कष्ट निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो बाली की त्रास कपीस बस गिरि जात महाप्रभु पंथ निहारो चौकी महामुनि साप दियो तब चाहिए कौन विचार विचारो कै द्विज रूप लिवाय महाप्रभु सो तुम दास के शोक निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो अंगद के संग लेन गए सिया खोज कपीस यह बैन उचारो जीवत ना बची हो यहाँ पग उधारो हेरि थके तट सिंधु सब तब लाय सिया सुधि प्राण उबारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो रावण त्रास दई सिय को सब राक्षसी सो कही शोक निवारो ताहि समय हनुमान महाप्रभु जाय महारजनी चर मारो चाहत सिय अशोक सो आगे सुदय प्रभु मुद्रिका शोक निवारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो. So we saw about how Bhagwan Hanuman ji removed the sorrow of Sita ji. So in that prasang, we have to understand why that happened to Sita ji. Why did the shok happen to Sita ji first of all? She was living happily with Bhagwan Ram, looking at Bhagwan Ram, serving the Lord, living in the forest, very content, happy, doing satsang with rishis, all of them. And then comes what? The golden deer. That golden deer, when it comes there, Marich has come in the form of a golden deer and she is fascinated by that golden deer. And Bhagwan says that this is a Rakshas only in some other form. This is not a deer. But she insists. Bhagwan tries to convince, but she doesn't listen. So Bhagwan also follows his wife's Otherwise, he has to fulfill the wife's desire. So he goes behind that deer. See, all this nobody bothers. Huh? When they say Bhagavan Ram was not a good husband, or he went behind the deer. What else will he do? As a husband, he went, try to get the deer for her. In that, he left her in protection of Lakshmanji. The deer now, Marich, when he died, he impersonated the voice of Bhagavan Ram, and what did he say? Hey Lakshman, save me. And this Sita ji has got carried away by that, saying, hey, Ramji is in trouble. Oh, Lakshman, go and save him. Just before that, so Lakshman reminds her that just before this, 14,000 Rakshasas, Khar and Dushan, Bhagwan has killed alone, single-handedly. He is not really in trouble. It is the Rakshasa who is doing this, trick. She doesn't listen. And then she accuses Lakshmanji of bad intentions and all that. And so Lakshmanji goes. In Valmiki Ramayana, there is no Lakshman Rekha, by the way. Tulsi Ramayana also, there is only one indication later on. In this thing, it is not there, what you call Aranyakand, it is not there. So Lakshmanji goes, and we know that Bhagavan Ram is coming back, and he says, Arey, why are you coming? What happened? I told you to guard Sita ji. And then Sita ji has been kidnapped. There also, Ravan has come in the base of a Brahmana. Bhikshu, he came in the form of, not even a Bhikshu, a Brahman. Valmiki says Brahman. He comes in that form. And he is asking for Bhiksha. In Valmiki, if you read, the way in which he speaks only, he is very flirtatious with Sita ji. A Bhikshu or a Brahman should not be like that. The moment one listens to those things, one should become alert that there is something wrong here. But Sita ji feeds him, gives him this food, and then he abducts her. So, Gurudev always used to give this beautiful symbolism that as long as the mind is turned towards Bhagavan, is one with the Lord, is satisfied in bhakti, devotion, there is fullness, there is no problem. But one desire that comes into the mind and makes it extrovert, and the mind broods on that desire. So the whole ladder of falls happens then. Brooding over the desire. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha, what happens? Sangasteshu upajayate. Attachment is created. That I want that. Without that I am not happy. With Bhagwan Ram, she is there already. Yet she wants the deer. Gurudev used to explain nicely, saying that, the mind of a person, the mind is like that. However sattvic the mind may be, the noble tendencies the mind may have, still, sometimes that mind will become extrovert. Even a great yogi's mind can get tempted like that. Then the fall will happen. So Sita ji represents that, a mind of a seeker. And it has become extroverted. The moment it has become extroverted through that one desire, brooding. What is the difference between brooding and thinking? No, same thoughts coming multiple times is not brooding. That to japa also we are doing same thought. Na? Ram, 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 Ram.
It's overanalyzing, doing too much of it,
Indulging, doing too much, okay. Desire prone, but the ladder of fall is saying brooding creates attachment, and attachment creates desire. Right now the question is, brooding is what? That is attachment. Incompleteness.
thinking what can happen actually after.
Imagination, brooding, what can happen, insistence, natural generation. No, you had said something.
Thought without clear
Thought without clear thinking, constant complaining. See, these are general things about brooding, some of you are saying, which is acceptable, understandable. In this context of ladder of fall, brooding has a specific meaning. Not thoughts with emotions, okay. See, we have to understand. So, Gurudev said very nicely to think is to use the mind, to brood is to abuse it. Now, what is that brooding? Imagination of pleasure in an object. Point one. Point two, imagining me enjoying that object. And three, deriving that joy of that enjoyment and feeling that this is happiness. That combination is called brooding. See, that's what I'm telling you, that you are giving me a general definition of brooding where people think about complaining and negativity. That is definition of brooding in general, which is no problem. Right now we are talking in the context of this fall, ladder of fall as given in the Gita, that how that brooding creates an attachment. So when first I feel that happiness is in the object, first step. Second step, I imagine more and more about that object, its properties, its qualities, and how great it is and how pleasurable it will be. So I brood on the object. Third, I imagine myself enjoying that and how the benefit that I derive out of it makes my life better. These are four aspects of brooding. Now I feel I want that because I'm brooding on it. Now I'm enjoying. Simple example like this, if you see now, somebody goes and sees some sari on the what you call online, some website or in some shop. Now one starts imagining how I will look when I wear this sari, and this party I will go to, and nobody will have this, and people will praise me, and I'm going to work out to fit into that sari and look slim and trim, and people will go gaga over me, and it's all imagination. And finally that person wears the sari and goes, nobody notices also. That person feels pathetic, thinking, "Ye itna maine expectation kiya, dunya is not at all appreciative. I put in so much of effort to lose weight, but not even one person said that you lost weight." Full on disappointment. Same for power. Uh, Male also, male will look at a female and imagine 20,000 things. If you listen to Gurudev's talk on this, he gives one example. He's saying a brahmachari, he was living a pure chaste life, and then he saw the neighbor had a girl and he started reimagining about that girl and he's brooding over the girl, and then he has a desire, then I should go and speak to this girl and how nice it will be if I speak, but he is very hesitant and he doesn't know how to speak. He's a brahmachari, this, that. Full dramatization he has done. And then somehow he gets an opportunity to speak, and then he speaks to her and he feels so thrilled, and now he has a desire that now I am speaking to her, I want to spend more time, and then he starts spending more time also, and now he wants to hold her hand. All that he is imagining. And all this, when is it happening? In his meditation. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, and he's thinking of that woman there. So meditation to reh gaya. Now this fellow developed attachment to her, and now he wants to hold her hand and he wants to marry her. बेचारा ब्रह्मचर्य से क्या बन गया वो? गृहस्थ में फंसने को गिर गया वहां पे. Like that, you listen to his whole thing, the whole dramatization. I'll tell you what is said in Bhagavatam. Those who are men in this life, high probability they will be women in the next life. And those who are women in this life, high probability they will be men in the next life. Why? Because they are brooding over that only. So one is creating that momentum. So if anybody tries to say that Hinduism is gender biased, they are fools. They don't understand only. In Hinduism, there is no gender bias. Today you are a man, tomorrow you may be a woman, next time you may be any other creature also. No? So one has to be very careful what I am thinking, because that is what I will become in this life also and in next life also. So brooding is very, when Bhagavan says downfall, no, it is not only while in this life, it can last for lifetimes. So Sita ji looks at that deer and now brooding has started. That brooding only makes her so attached that I want. Though Bhagavan is saying that no, this is not, there's no golden deer actually, and this is just a Maya, this is a trick of this Rakshas. Attachment is so strong. Once one gets attached, then one feels very difficult to be detached. So that group which has done the discussion on attachment, attachment, detachment, that group. You can call it daydreaming also, as if there is a pleasure aspect associated with that thinking, and I'm deriving some pleasure out of it, and I want that because of that pleasure thinking, that is brooding. So here in the Gita, the word is dhyana only. Dhyayato Vishayan. But Vishaya Dhyan is what we call as brooding. That's why Gurudev used to say, all of us are expert meditators. Nobody has to teach us meditation. Only thing is, what are we meditating on? The object or the subject? It keeps happening. Brooding goes on happening. Fanciful imagination keeps on happening. So technically, in 2 words, if you want to explain brooding, it is fanciful imagination. That's all. Obviously, fanciful imagination of pleasure in this context. Some sense enjoyment, some pleasure I'm deriving. Yes, come on. Who is going to speak from that group? They will tell the question also.
Hari Om, I'm Nehal. So our question was, what is attachment? What is difference between attachment and love? And how to detach, how to be detached? So in our very brief discussion, we came across multiple opinions, and I'm going to present few opinions from them. So dependence on any external body and external or internal body and entity is attachment. Then there are we had people explaining the psychology side of it, that there is anxious attachment, there is avoidant attachment. So those things, like there are varieties of attachment. Then attachment is dependency, and love is independent of any attachment, like the purest form of love. Keeping the one person above anything else, or one person or one entity above anything else, is love. And love is simple and selfless. Love starts with attachment. This was one more opinion, that love starts from attachment, and eventually it broods to the the detached form of love. That's how love progresses. Then love is selfless. Attachment is selfish. Speaking about detachment, um, like how to be detached, looking at every situation from a third person perspective, um, and not having any expectation from the final result of an action or inaction. It is also detachment. How you can do that is uh, uh, through looking from every situation, every person's perspective, by being prepared for situations, by self questioning. You can be detached by meditating. You can be detached by finding an anchor or a guru. You can be detached through satsang. You can be detached. So, yeah, this is the
Can I
overall.
add one more
Yeah.
point?
Yes, sure.
Thank you. The way to be detached, if you could feel all of your emotions that you felt during that situation, if you let all those emotions out and feel them and honor them and address them, and just sit with that for a while, then like you feel detached about it the next day or a couple of minutes or hours later. It seems much less of a thing. I'm talking about conflict here. That's the example. Like if you're
You stand apart from the emotion.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Different opinions. So we will first listen to Gurudev on attachment and then come back to their discussion.
Attachment is very well known to every one of you. Every one of us have got some attachment or the other. But the attachment of each individual may be different from each other. You are attached to the mother, another is attached to the father, another is attached to the wife, another is attached to the children. Some are attached to their profession, some are attached to power, some are attached to money, wealth. No, Swamiji, you have never told what my attachment is. I am not attached to all these things. Then in that case you are attached to your dog. That is right. I am attached to my dog. Without some attachment you cannot live. If any one of you say that, Swamiji, I have no attachments, all that I can tell you is, lie down there, after the lectures we will attend to your funeral. Why? When there is no attachment, you are dead. Attachment everyone has got. Every one of you think of your attachment. Whatever be that attachment. And try to verbalize what do you mean by attachment. Attachment is a feeling. Luckily it is not physical. If physically you and I are attached to things, you can't move about. Because I am attached to my wife and my children and my property and my factory, my business or my house. How can you move attached? It's not physical. It's the mental. Analyze what do you mean by in the mind an attachment? A mere thought. A stream of thought by which we tie ourselves to things and beings in the world outside. So when I say that I am attached to mother or father, whatever it is, it means that I am complete only with that being or thing, minus that being or thing, I am the less for it. I'm not complete in myself. I plus my mother, life is wonderful. Minus my mother, I don't know what to do. I get my wife, beautiful life. Minus my wife, I have no hope of getting another wife. Silly feeling, just a feeling. Thing is called attachment. So attachment is a thought bondage, which means, that thought bondage, what is it? It includes I plus I want. Think again and again before taking down your notes. Think! I plus I want, this feeling towards anything in the world or any being in the world is called attachment.
So this is attachment. What is it? I plus I want. This attachment comes from brooding. And this is called a psychological dependence. What they spoke, no? They said the similar thing in the discussion. When we depend on any external, internal being is word used, right?
The I plus I want, that means you haven't had it, right? So you want that thing, so it's a desire.
It's correct. So in general, with those words, if we think I plus I want, so want appears to be a desire. But as Gurudev said in the first point about attachment, he said, for my completeness and happiness, when I depend on any thing or a being, then that is attachment. And that dependency is called attachment. So that I plus I want is an expression of that dependency. That I want this so that I will feel happy. And that's why dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kama. Brooding brings attachment. Attachment then brings desire. That I want this now. Why will I want something? Can I want something? Let us say, suppose I say, Guju Bijgu. Will you want that? Will you desire Guju Bijgu? You will say, what is this Guju Bijgu? What are its features? How does it benefit me? You want to know all that. No? Simply you won't want it just like that. So desire will come only when I have associated some benefit out of it. If I get, then that will make my life better. How will I get that knowledge, that thinking? That is by brooding. That this object, by enjoying in this way, I will get this happiness. So this brooding brings that attachment. Then attachment brings the desire. So attachment is a psychological dependency on things or beings. Very nicely they explained about love. Love is freedom, love is selfless. And attachment, in attachment I am more important. In love the beloved is more important. In attachment there is a deep possessiveness, insistence, control. In love it is not there. Now only one point I wanted to clarify there was, you said from attachment love is born and then from there one gets detached. Right? Correct. One opinion, but that was there, right? One of the things. So that one has to be clear. That what is love? So attachment we defined. But attachment is psychological dependency on things for happiness. What is love? That's an expression of love. But I love some person means what? So Gurudev used to define love is identification with the beloved. So when I identify, a mother loves the child, the mother feels identified. Oh, this is me, this is my child. Then that identification, same way someone loves music, someone loves country, there's an identification. So love is born out of identification. Suddenly some group of people come together, no? In India we are 1.4 billion people. But when you go to London, suddenly you meet two Indians. Indian, bhai. Here 140 crores, kuch bhai, kuch nahi. There suddenly you meet in Australia, New Zealand, somewhere. Hare, you are Indian, I am Indian, chalo, we are pals. Wah, re, wah. Why? Identification. Suddenly. So that identification is love. So love is born of identification. Attachment is born from brooding. So when identification is there, if that identification becomes a psychological dependency, then that love will become attachment. So when a mother loves the child, the baby is small, there is no expectation from the baby psychologically, and the mother is so happy. Whatever the baby does, the mother is very happy. And the more foolish things the baby does, the mother feels more happy. Arey, kya hai? Look at this child, how innocent, how it is. Same thing after 5 years if the child does. ये क्या पागल है? When will you grow up? At your age, your brother was not like this. Look at you. Why? Because now expectation has come, dependency has come. He has to behave in a certain way, by certain time, be mature, all that. So the moment that expectation, psychological expectations has come in, and I associate my happiness with that, then that love has become attachment. Then that will bring sorrow. So in Sitaji's case, you will see that this whole cycle will apply. Looking at that deer, brooding starts. So sense perception by itself can't lead to bondage. What leads to bondage is brooding. And so no doubt we must have sense control. So we see, hear, taste, smell, touch what is beneficial to us, not what is harmful to us. But more careful we have to be of the brooding, that what is going on in my head. So if a person broods, then the brooding will create attachment, and once that attachment is strong, I want that, desire will be there. So Sitaji insists, I must have it. She is loving Bhagwan Ram, but the moment that desire has come into her mind, that without this deer I can't be happy, her mind has moved from the state of love and fullness to this state where she becomes dependent, that without that I am not happy. So when we are loving somebody also, we can be sad, not because of attachment only. Attachment brings sorrow and disturbs us completely, where psychological dependency is there. And yes, Bhagwan Ram showed to the whole world that how that love which is there, which is true love, pure love, where he did things for Sita ji, knowing very well that this is not even a deer, this is a Rakshas who has actually come. But when you love the beloved, you do things for happiness of the beloved. And have you seen anywhere in Ramayana Bhagwan Ram blaming Sita ji that देखो तुम्हारी वजह से ये सब कांड हो गया, मैंने बोला था तुमको, this is not a deer, मेरी बात तुमने नहीं मानी, why did you not listen to me? Stupid woman, you have brought the downfall of so many people. Did anywhere Bhagwan say that? He loves Sita ji, and he did whatever he did for Sita ji, and he bore the consequences of it also. He went and got her back also, did so much, and after that also what people say, he was not a good husband. What all expectations people have from husband, I tell you. बेचारा वाइफ का सब डिजायर पूरा कर भी goes on getting the blame. That to Sita Mata also agreed with Bhagwan Ram. Sita Mata told Lakshman ji that go and tell him what he has done is right and I am with him. So Sita ji and Ram ji have no conflict. The whole world has a conflict. And why did he send her away? And till now goes on. So the point is what? This attachment when it is there. See, love when it is there, it is not that a person is not going to feel emotions. The pangs of separation is not there, or the sadness is not there. But in that, the beloved is more important. So one is thinking what to do, how to bring solace, happiness to the beloved, all that. In attachment, I am only important. No matter what the beloved says, I don't care. My desire has to be fulfilled. My way or highway, finished. So that's what attachment will do. Love is more wholesome, more, what do we say, selfless. The love will be more accommodative, forgiving, caring, compassionate. So that and detachment go together. How to be detached? Attached to something higher. That is the simplest way. Gurudev always said, detach from the lower by attaching to the higher. So when we anchor in devotion, in bhakti, etc., then we are detached. We feel the joy within our heart also. By seeing the the pains of attachment, by understanding that attachment brings sorrow. And attachment, I don't have to live with attachment. And I can be free from attachment. Because a lot of wrong notions are there in our head. How can I not be attached to my children? I can be completely detached from my children and yet I can be very loving to my children. Why? Because love and detachment only will go together. Love and attachment don't go together. So, if a person understands what is detachment correctly, then one will be happy to practice it. One thinks detachment is disinterest, then one doesn't want to practice. So, devotion, detachment, the clarity about detachment when it is there, you feel the joy within. Whatever helps me to turn within and experience the joy free from objects and things and beings, then I will not have that much attachment to the world outside. We don't find the joy within, that's why we run behind the things outside. Which is why some sadhana which helps us to turn within, anchor within, experience quietude, joy, a happy mind. A quiet mind is a happy mind. So whatever it is, pranayam, meditation, breath observation, being with nature, absorbing oneself in some creative hobby, wherever I let go of my ego and am able to be quiet, I will experience great happiness. Once I understand that the source of happiness is me, then why will I be attached to anything else? So all this, there are different ways to be detached. Gurudev always used to say, give love more than receiving, waiting to receive. So he would always say that everybody wants love, but nobody wants to give love. The day you decide to give love, you would have rewritten your entire destiny. Such a beautiful book he has written called I Love You Letters. Read that book if you want to know more about love. I Love You. Fantastic book. So, the more I give, the more I will develop detachment, the more I enjoy the process of giving, the more I will be happy. All that when we do, there is bliss in life. Detachment, happiness, love, they all go together. Disinterest, attachment, sorrow go together. Go together meaning they are not equal to love and detachment. We have wrong notions about them. Questions later. I'll finish. We are still on verse number 5. Today we have to finish the camp. So, no, that's why I'm saying any questions I will take later. Just note them down. We will have some more time. So, this verse about Sita ji, the tras that Ravan is giving. So, Sita ji represents what? A mind which is peaceful. She is Shanti here in this context. And Ramji is Ananda Swarup. The mind which is wedded to Ananda, living happily in the forest, one desire came and that brooding started and the peace of that mind has got disturbed. Now one needs that desire, that deer. Now that deer, when she has got stuck with that, this Ravan comes and kidnaps her. Who is Ravan there? Dashamukha Ravana it is. So that is the ego. That ego snatches away all the peace, separates the mind as though from Ananda Swarup, Atma. Gone. Mind now is extroverted. Gone to Lanka. Lanka is a place of what? Materialism. Complete materialism, rank materialism, and one follows adharma there. So that mind is captured by this ego. And she is in misery then. This mind is a seeker's mind, which has experienced peace, happiness. But that mind falls for some desire, then that mind, repents, why did I do this? So Sita ji is sitting in that Ashoka Vatika. Vatika is called Ashoka, where there should be no shoka. But she is fully sitting there in complete shoka. Why? because she separated from her husband, from Ananda Swarup when the mind has got separated because of its own desire, which then it realizes that it was a blunder. And then sitting in that Ashoka Vatika, she is grieving there. Hanumanji is the one who comes there, and it is Hanumanji who brings the news of Sitaji back to Bhagwan Ram, and ultimately they both get united. So he removes at least some part of the disturbance in her mind by bringing her the news of Bhagwan Ram and how he is unhappy without her, and the Mudrika, and how he is going to come for her and rescue her. So Guru brings that, what we call that hope, that Bhagwan is there and you will be united soon. So that is about this prasang and how Hanumanji removes the sorrow of Mother Sita also. Then we move ahead. This next shloka. बान लग्यो उर लक्ष्मण के तब प्राण तजे सुत रावण मारो लय गृह वैद्य सुषेण समेत तब गिरि द्रोण सुबीर उपारो आनि सजीवन हाथ दई तब लक्ष्मण ते तुम प्राण उबारो को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो. So this is about the war when various heroes are fighting. Bhagwan's army and Ravan's army are fighting against each other, and then there is the situation where so many warriors of Ravan's army are killed, and Ravan sends his son Meghnad. Meghnad is also called Indrajit. He has won over Indra. And this Meghnad comes and he fights against Lakshmanji, and in that process what happens? He fires a missile and Lakshmanji is completely on the verge of death. Looking at Lakshmanji in that condition, Hanumanji first sees him like that and he lifts him. They want to take away Lakshmanji, but Lakshmanji is avatar of Sheshnag, and Sheshnag is that we believe in, who is support of the entire universe. So even though the Rakshasas start they pull him, they try to take him away, they can't even move. So he is lying there just like that, lifeless, as though. Hanumanji sees and he brings him, and Bhagwan Ram is very, very sad that Lakshman is my life. And his love for Lakshmanji is revealed in this prasang. He feels very sad, then he feels that what will I tell to the mother of Lakshmanji, that I could not take care. He left his home, his wife, his mother, everyone to do seva, to do my seva, and I could not protect him. And he died. What will I say to Sumitra ji, and what will he himself feels sad that how will I live without Lakshmanji. And he even goes to the extent of saying that if I knew this would have happened, I would not have even come into exile. I would not have obeyed the commands of my father. All that he is brooding, and Hanumanji is seeing that how Bhagwan Ram is so much affected by this situation of Lakshmanji. So what does he do that time? Baan lagyo ur Lakshman te tab pran taje sut Ravana maro. Ravan has hit this, he used this missile and he has attacked Lakshmanji. And here Vibhishanji comes to the rescue and he tells Hanumanji that there is a Vaidya called Sushen. So earlier I was telling you, Sushen in Valmiki Ramayana is one of the monkeys only, and he only suggests what do is get the. And actually in Valmiki it's not only Sushen, actually it is Jambavan who says that go to Dronagiri Parvat and get Sanjeevani, Vishalyakarni, some 4 things. He gives the name. Get these 4. Here it is that Vibhishanji says that there is a Vaidya called Sushen who is there in the in Lanka. So Hanumanji goes and Laigriha Vaidya Sushena Samet. He goes to Sushen and he says, Lakshman is injured like this, you please come. What should Sushen do? He is on that side, enemy side. But he is a doctor. So the doctor has to treat the patient. He is not bothered who is on which side. So he agrees. But then how to go there? These Rakshasas are not going to allow him to just go. Ki bhai jao Lakshman ko treat karo. So he tells Hanumanji. Hanumanji said, don't worry. With the house itself, a whole hut he is lifted. So Ravan can think that Sushen was kidnapped. Sushen is brought there and he treats. So Sushen tells that, you have to go and get this Sanjeevani before sunrise tomorrow. And only then Lakshmanji can be saved. So then what to do? He goes there to get the mountain, reaches Dronagiri. Now that prasang, if you actually read, so many people think that Hanumanji was such a dumb person, he could not recognize which is the Sanjeevani, and so he brought the whole mountain. And they talk also like that. They give that analogy. In Gujarati, in our house, etc., they used to say like that. That, Hanuman જેવો નહીં બન આખો પહાડ ઉપાડીને લઈ આવ્યો. It's like a derogatory thing they are telling about Hanumanji. It's not that Hanumanji was so dumb that he did not recognize Sanjeevani and then he said, अच्छा पता नहीं कौन सा है, चलो पूरा उठा के ही लेके जाएंगे. It's not like that. Hanumanji is very wise, knowledgeable, studied the Veda, has known 9 types of grammar, everything, and the specific qualities are told. But when he goes there, all those, those herbs which are there, they actually shine. But when he lands there, they all withdraw. Now he says, now I don't have time to sit and identify which one is where. Time is a crucial factor. He actually applied his buddhi. He said, if they are not revealing, I can't sit and wait for them to reveal and then go and hunt one, which one is which one. We will lose the time. Better it is to just lift the whole thing and go there. And Sushen will be able to identify much faster. So he goes, lifts that whole thing and brings. That's why he says here, Ani sajivana hath daitab Lachimana te tuma prana uvaru. The whole Sanjeevani he has lifted and, the mountain, Dronagiri, he lifts and he brings. How many times does he do that? Tulsi Ramayana only once. Valmiki Ramayana twice. So 8 trips totally. Once he goes from Lanka to Himalayas, 1 trip. Brings Sanjeevani, brings the whole Dronagiri, 2nd trip. Goes, puts it back, comes back. 4 ho gaya for 1 time. Valmiki, you see, 1 time both Ramji and Lakshmanji are down. That time also he goes again, 4. So that happens first and then this happens. Indrajit thing happens in Valmiki. So 8 times he has gone. Just imagine. That is only while coming back. One of the trips only, while coming back only, Bharat sees, he thinks that this is some demon who is flying and he shoots 1 arrow. And then Hanumanji comes down and he tells, this is all, Bhagwan is in this situation, Lakshman is wounded, and Bharatji says, I did not know Because he starts greeting with Ram. Then immediately Bharatji understands. Then he says that don't worry, I will place you on my arrow and I will shoot you. You will reach there straight. That's the place where there's Lete Hanumanji in Prayagraj. That story of Lete Hanumanji is this only, that Bharatji and Hanumanji meet there. And then Hanumanji says that will not be necessary. The name of Bhagwan is more powerful than anything. I will just take the name of Bhagwan and I will reach there much faster than an arrow also. And he reaches. See, the point why I said this 8 is, it's not that Hanumanji did this 8 things, and so if you and I have to do something like that, what will we think? एक बार ही करना पड़ा तो अरे इतना दूर जाके अरे 8 बार. And he has no boasting about it, saying मैं 8 बार जाके आया, पता है. He does not tell that to anybody anywhere. Have you heard Hanumanji sitting and telling about his exploits, that I crossed the ocean and I did this Sanjeevani, I brought 8 times, and nowhere. Because he gives the whole credit to whom? Bhagwan Ram. He says Ram Naam ka pratap hai, and he reached there. Got it, came back. Even when he crossed the ocean, it is the pratap of what? Ram Naam. Prabhu Mudrika Meli Mukhamahi Jaladhi Langi Gaye Acharaj Nahi. So what is that mudrika? That mudrika is chanting Bhagwan's name continuously, Ram, 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 Ram. So that prabhav is that. So greatest feats are done with zero ego. And there is no craving for any recognition. That is Hanumanji. What a beautiful quality that is. Vivekananda did so many great things. Gurudev did so many great things. No craving for any recognition. The world may recognize, may not recognize. The world may criticize, may condemn. Doesn't bother them at all. That quality one must have. So here it is that he goes, gets this Dronagiri. Sushen treats Lakshmanji, and ko nahi janat hai jag mein kapi Sankat Mochan naam tiharo. So Sita ji, then Sugriv, then Angad, now Lakshmanji, all of them, some or the other problem they have, and Hanumanji removes all their sorrows. Even Bharatji's problem he removes. That doesn't come in this, but Bharatji is going to jump into fire in the Uttarakhand where Bhagwan has not yet come back, and 14 years when they are over, Bhagwan was supposed to be there. Bharat said, if one moment you delay, I will jump into fire. Hanumanji reaches there, saves him also. So many people, great devotees, he has saved. And Bhagwan loves all of these people. Sita ji he loves a lot. Lakshmanji he loves a lot. Bharatji he loves a lot. All of them. If anything happens to any one of them, Bhagwan only will feel maximum sorrow. So, helping all of them out individually is one aspect. But all this is done in seva of his master. So here it is. So this is one aspect of the story. Now what is the deeper meaning here now? So Ramji is knowledge, Sitaji is peace, Lakshmanji is vairagya. Lakshmanji has served Bhagwan so selflessly, and he is a symbol of absolute vairagya. 14 years he has not slept, has served the Lord with complete sense control, being away from his wife, has not looked at any other woman, has not even looked at the face of Sitaji, has looked only at her feet. So he is an embodiment of dispassion, vairagya. And this vairagya, when the arrows of temptations hit, from whom? From this Indrajit. So this Indrajit, when he shoots, these arrows injure the dispassion. Even such a great seeker can be affected by some distractions and temptations from the world. One has to be very alert in sadhana. Great Rishi Vishwamitra also fell or not? It is natural that human mind can get back to its extrovertedness at any time. And that's why so much alertness is required on the path. One can't take it for granted. And do you know one tendency of human mind is the greater the tapasya that human mind does, the greater it justifies indulgence. If one does not have enough bhakti, then this flaw will happen. Because when one has done tapasya, tap literally means to burn. So when one lives in tapasya, when one burns certain attachments, certain negativities, then one part of the mind will say, you have done a lot of hard work, you deserve some rest, Thoda relax karo, don't be too hard on yourself. What did you do? I have not eaten chocolate for 7 days, Swamiji. Now I deserve. What do you do on 8th day? 10 दिन का कसर खत्म करेंगे पूरा. People have nowadays what it is called cheat day. 6 days of diet, 1 day of cheat day. अब वो cheat day में भी if you actually undo all the things that you have done for 6 days, it's all useless. नहीं, थोड़ा सा. But that is the thing, that mind starts with little and that little becomes too much. Sleep also happens or not? Morning meditation. Right now the class is full. Morning meditation, many didn't come. थोड़ा 5 minutes और सो लेता हूँ, थोड़ा 10. I have had very hectic days and this Swamiji is going very slow and talking. इतना सुना मैंने, मैं थक गया. तो अभी सुबह उठ नहीं पाए. 5 minutes थोड़ा. Gone. So these are small examples. The tapasya if one does living in the forest 14 years, what I gave an example of Lakshmanji. What all possibilities are there in the mind when one lives like that in so much of self-control. Then this Indrajit has shot few arrows, that Vairagya has got affected very badly. It has got hit. So then when Vairagya is hurt, then what happens? Who will get more affected? Bhagwan Ram is knowledge, Our knowledge cannot be steady if Vairagya is injured. We are talking about Atmagnan here now. Self-knowledge we can't steadily contemplate when Vairagya is not strong. Why does our mind wander? That example of Gurudev, about that brahmachari who is brooding over that woman there, neighboring woman. Why? Because somewhere that Vairagya has become weak. That Vairagya has been punctured, correct, that's the word. It has got injured, punctured. So then what has to be done? How to revive that Vairagya? So Vaidya is required. Hanumanji is the one who goes and brings that Vaidya. So Hanumanji plays the role of a guru again there. That the grace of the guru is there. And what is that mountain? Is the mountain of faith. The mountain of faith has to be brought, and the guru once again instills that faith in you that you can do it. Your nature is happiness. Nature of the world is dukkha and dosha. All that the guru tells. So when attachment, temptation, any of that has injured our Vairagya, Raga is conquered through Anuraga. Anurag means devotion. And that devotion is what the Guru brings. Faith is what that Guru brings. So that Sanjeevani is that bhakti. That whole mountain is faith. Sanjeevani specifically is that bhakti. And that bhakti is required to heal this Vairagya. Condemnation will not help. If one falls on the path as a seeker, I don't have to condemn myself, nor I have to justify this, saying ये तो सबको होता है, मुझे भी हुआ, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? No. Neither condemnation nor justification, but intensely invoking bhakti. That is what is required. Then that Vairagya will become stronger. Satsang. So Hanumanji represents their sadhu, sang, satsang, you may say guru, anything you like. So that satsang, when we do more and more and more, mind will again bring back. Why? Because with satsang comes vivek, with vivek comes vairagya. Binu satsang viveka na hoi. Without satsang, vivek will not happen. And without vivek, vairagya will not happen. And satsang only will bring anurag also. Binu satsanga viveka na hoi, that is one. Another chaupai says, Binu satsanga na hari katha, tehi binu mohana bhag, moha gaye binu ramapada, hoina drida anurag. So this moha, the arrows of moha, the technical word if we have to use it is moha. Indrajit is shooting these arrows of moha and that vairagya gets affected. And when vairagya gets affected, that arrow has to be removed first. Then the healing has to be done there. So that moha has to be removed. So binu satsanga, what was that? Binu satsangana harikatha. Without satsang, harikatha is not there. Listening to the glories of Bhagwan, we don't get the opportunity. Then, without listening to glory of Bhagwan, tehi binu moha na bhag. Moha will not go. What is moha? Thinking of something exactly opposite. Where that is delusion. So what it is, I don't see it as it is and I see it exactly as opposite. That is delusion. Cigarette smoking, absolutely injurious and it will kill. But delusion is, it's cool. Non-vegetarian food, our body is not made for it. But one will still feel, protein chahiye. Some justification to that. Eat. Speed, if I go fast, I will impress people. Young boys, in bike, they zoom to impress girls. If you go slow, she can see you at least. Zoom करके चला गया, क्या देखा भी नहीं कुछ. All delusion in the head. When I get this much package of salary, then my life will be great. I mean, you get a package of salary, but not necessarily that life will be great because of that money. So many things like that, all wrong notions in the head. In seeker's mind, or any of this, if it comes in, Tapon Maharaj, he was traveling once in a train and he is going to meet his guru. And in the train, he's a big, great Vairagi and all that. And in the train, he saw one couple, very loving to each other, having nice time, spending, talking, laughing. One moment, the thought came in his mind. One thought. How nice is Grahastha. First one thought came. It just because he saw, perceived. And he didn't encourage, he didn't brood on it, nothing. He just appreciating how nice is Grahastha. When he went to meet his guru, what his guru said? You have changed. What level of alertness is required in spiritual life? That he only that one thought came and he didn't brood. So anybody else would have even went ahead and gone and into more brooding, that how nice, how beautiful, and maybe I made a mistake, maybe I should get into Grahastha. None of those thoughts have come to him. You read this, he has written in his Ishwar Darshan. One thought has just come. And the Guru said, you have changed. You entertained a thought of Grahastha. So, the point is that in seeker's mind, this kind of delusion, the world will go on attacking. There is no stopping from the world. People will keep telling, do this, do that, eat this, go there, become this. Continuously it will keep happening. The Vairagya has to be strengthened. And so this is the symbolism there. He brings this Sanjeevani, brings the Sushen, then the Sanjeevani is, and then Lakshmanji is healed. So our Vairagya has to be strengthened. It will not happen that we will have one ascending path to realize the truth. Our path will go up, down, so many ups, so many downs. All that will keep happening. One of the reasons Gurudev would say that many temples are on the peak. Why? Because ups and downs will happen. But one very powerful line of Gurudev is this, that all falls are only a rise in the total. So there is nothing wrong in falling. But when you fall, don't stay there. Rise again. And all falls are a rise in the total. This is not to justify a fall or to wantedly fall, but it is to say that if I fall, I should not feel guilty, sad about it, and destroy more time brooding about it. I need to bounce back. And how will I bounce back? With this, with satsang, with that bhakti, with harikatha, with dosha buddhi and dukkha buddhi. Look at the world and analyze what is the limitations in the world and what is the sorrow that it brings. Buddha said a very powerful line. He said, every pleasure is pain in disguise. Initially, if somebody reads that, and especially young people, when they read, they say, Buddha was a pessimistic fellow. Every pleasure is pain in disguise. Cake khao, kya pain hai usme? Such a nice thing. But if you actually analyze it, that statement is very powerful. Every pleasure is pain in disguise. It's only postponed pain. Because that pleasure will not last. Diminishing returns happens. Then it is creating pain. It creates attachment, more craving, and so many things will follow with that. So the more I reflect on this, dosha buddhi, dukkha buddhi, vairagya will increase. The more I do bhakti, sadhana, satsang, harikatha, vairagya will increase. And that's what Hanumanji does and strengthens the vairagya. Lakshmanji is back. When Lakshmanji is back, Bhagwan Ram is also very happy. So that is this verse number 5. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.